Well, good evening, race fans. We are getting set up here tonight for the SCSRA Tammy Butchino Memorial Cup Series with the SCSRA Dev Sporting Cards Cup Series here today at the Rockingham, the Rock in Rockingham here. Should be a good race. Going to be a little different. You can see the temp, the air, the wind. It's at 11 miles an hour. 77 degrees. It's a warm, sunny day here in Rockingham. And right now we're in the practice session. Looks like we've got 23 cars here tonight contesting the race here this evening. Race number 3 on the season. We do have a couple names that haven't been in the first couple races here. We've got Jesse Whittington in the field, your champion from last year, making a start here tonight. It seems like it lined up with the schedule, so we'll see how Jesse Whittington fares here. Your points leader, none other than Matt Parasini in the number 24 machine. I'll have a little bit of help in the teammate department. And so far, fastest in practice here tonight, Sharn Hill over Matt Bands and Travis Bennett. Travis Bennett just won the race last week. Coming in tonight, kind of on a part-time schedule. But going to give it a shot here tonight at the Rock. So far to start this season, we have only had 2 drivers with back-to-back top 5s to start the season. Holden Wheeler, your race winner at Daytona, and Samuel Green, who's also secured 2 top 5 finishes to start the year. Quite a few more of them with top 10s paired up. Matt Parasini, Holden Wheeler, Samuel Green, Corey Bunch, David Hartney, and Matt Bands, all at 2 top 10s apiece. So if you're looking at someone who may have a good run here tonight, those are some names to keep an eye out on. Already early in the season, but it's never too early to look at your Rookie of the Year. Standing so far early on in this start of the season, only 2 races down. Holden Wheeler, top of the board in your Rookie of the Year battle this year. Right behind that, he's also got Samuel Green, Cameron Craighead, Ryan Hufford, and Dana Ryan, your top 5 there. With 1 win on the season, Holden Wheeler already establishing himself as one of the top contenders for Rookie of the Year here. Season 12 here in 2026. And of course, the current point standings look a little bit something like this after 2 races. Matt Parasini, your points leader with 0 wins, but nonetheless, your points leader over Holden Wheeler, who's second in the points. Samuel Green, Corey Bunch, David Hartney, top 5. Bunch and Hartney tied for 4th there, actually. And you can see there the green and the red. The green signals who will be looking to lock into the chase later this season. So trying to maintain a spot in the top 12 in points is going to be huge for that title hunt, to get into the chase and stay in the mix for the title. So we'll see how this season goes. 10 races for the regular season, so tonight will be kind of the third way through the season mark. But there you see in practice here, Ignore the practice session time. I do believe it'll probably cut short a little bit from the 35 minutes projected there, as this session was a reset. But you can see 23 cars lining up to make the show here tonight. And just like that, we got a 24th driver logged in now. So 3 consecutive weeks of 20-plus cars showing up. Definitely a healthy sign for the SCSRA Cup Series. Well, as always, let me take this opportunity to give a shout out to the sponsors here tonight before practice comes to a close. Of course, first and foremost, got to give a shout out to Dev Sports Cards, as they are the primary partner of the SCSRA and a consistent supporter of the league. Their eBay store has a fresh batch of auctions closing soon, from star rookies to vintage chase cards, plus 25-cent combined shipping on qualifying orders. If you want to support the people who support sim racing, check out Dev Sports Cards on eBay before those listings expire. Next up, Butt Kicker, the primary sponsor for the replays through our cautions and all that stuff here tonight, bringing a whole new dimension to immersive entertainment. Butt Kicker has pioneered tactile feedback technology that lets you feel the action. Whether you're behind the wheel in a sim rig, watching a blockbuster in your home theater, or in the studio dialing in the low end. With 2 decades of industry leadership, their haptic transducers convert audio signals into physical vibration, turning sounds into sensations. If you've ever wished you could feel that racing shift, explosion, or bass drop, Butt Kicker makes it real. And with our other sponsors, all 3 of them here tonight, in collaboration with Intensity Broadcasting. In racing, everyone prepares for the competitors they can see, but one of the toughest opponents a driver can face never shows up on the timing screen. The hidden opponent is tackling the mental health battle inside the helmet, educating athletes, supporting teams, and giving the racing community language, tools, and leadership to talk about what usually stays silent. Because when drivers confront the hidden opponent, it doesn't just make them faster, it makes the whole garage stronger. As always, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, all the links are down below in the description. Give them a check when you can, if you want to, and support those that support Intensity Broadcast Racing. So, right at about halfway through the hour here, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Do believe they might speed up the segment here, and we'll get back into qualifying action as soon as possible. Well, we do have some nuggets of importance to kind of look towards, given some story points through tonight. Obviously, like I mentioned earlier, Travis Bennett kind of on a part-time schedule. He's kind of picking the ones that he feels confident in winning. And here again tonight, Travis Bennett in the field. Could he potentially be another threat to take home a victory? Would be kind of interesting if he only picks a couple races and still finds himself top 12 in the points on a part-time basis. And it makes you wonder the rules and regulations behind that, if he'll actually be eligible for the playoffs or if they'll fall back on the next driver in line. Alrighty, it looks like we're getting into qualifying here tonight, folks. Practice is over. And as always, we're going to do it hot potato style, jumping from driver to driver as they go out there to try and set pole position here tonight. It's going to be fun to watch Jesse Whittington in the field here tonight. First race back since his championship last year. Matt Parasini, your points leader, definitely going to be a threat here tonight. Alrighty, top of the board with his first time lap, Matt Parasini at a 23 flat. Second fastest, it is the 09 of Holden Wheeler. As we let Traden Paints kind of reset the paint there. It's been blipping in and out here today. We got Devin Butchino in the top 5 after his first timed lap. Vince Brent jumps up to second there. Another name that we're familiar with from last season, jumping in for his first start this season. Very solid field here tonight for Cypress Academy, as they have quite a stacked field in the lineup here tonight. Ryan Gomes up to 4th. Ooh, Cameron Craighead just turned his quickest lap, takes pole position by slim margins. 23.0 to a 23.0. He outs Matt Parasini at the pole position, I think, because whoever turned the last lap is credited with the pole. So Craighead already has a pole position this year. The Daytona opening season race, he set it on pole position. So maybe looking to add a second pole to his name here early in the season. Race number 3. Still some heavy hitters at the back of the field here in qualifying that haven't completed a first-timed lap. Travis Bennett here should very well be one of those threats for the pole. And Travis Bennett on his first time lap, best for 9th. Still got another lap here in the books that he can fall back on. And on his second timed lap, he is not any faster. So good for 9th here tonight. Jesse Whittington on his first timed lap, 3rd quickest at a 23.01. You can see they're all tied ahead at the top of the board there. 23.00, 23.00, and 23.00. However, it shows on my other scoring here for Whittington a 23.01. So very, very narrow margin for your top 3 there. And it looks like pole position will go to Craighead here tonight. Pole number 2 for him to start the season. That's a good way to start out. today. Starting lineup here today, starting from the back there. No times turned by Keith Resmondo nor David Hartney. They're going to hold up the back of the field here. Hunter Hastings and Colin Hoffman up the next row. Then it's Shane Hines and David Henley. Austin Fassett and Christopher Bishop. Lauren Vincent and Garrett Walden. Dana Ryan and Josh Hall. Starting mid-pack here, you got Devin Butchino with Cale Thorpe. Travis Bennett in 10th with Matt Baines right there alongside of him. Holden Wheeler and Ryan Gomes. And then your top 6 looks like that. You got Corey Bunch and Sharon Hill in the 3rd row. 2nd row, you've got Vince Brent and Jesse Whittington, a pair of teammates, along with their teammate Matt Parasini right ahead of them, and Cameron Craighead, the pole setter, with a 23.004 as his time. And you can see the margin's very tight there atop the pole. It's whoever turned that lap, the last lap on the track, got it. So getting ready to go green. Just one short cool down, or a warm-up lap. Not a cool down lap, a warm-up lap. The pace car will get pulled off here. We're racing tonight at Rockingham for 160 laps the distance.
Green flag, green flag.
Here we go. And so for the stage break, it'll be here tonight at lap 50.
Yellow flag.
Man, we already got our first wreck going into turn 1. Lap 1, turn 1. Here we go. And with the replay here tonight, and on the restart, the 55 of Gomes is getting loose there. You can see him lose control. And it was kind of a domino of chain effects there. 55, kind of a separate incident. Go back and watch that again. I saw the 92 of Vince Brent. It looked like he got the worst. And with, you know, nowhere else to go, the rest of the track just kind of come piling in there. It's tough to say where this all really started. It looks like just a lot of them having trouble getting the grip down. And that right there looks like the 09 of Holden Wheeler getting into him. 92 slides down the track. Corey Bunch spins up the track here. Ooh, and yeah, there's the rest of them just kind of trying to find room to get through the wreck. Well, tough way to start the race for sure. Well, I tried to reset the paints here, and it just does not look like the 09 machine's going to reset quite right. Control R, and we're still a white car there, unfortunately.
Green, green, green.
Alrighty. We're back and rolling here.
The yellow flag is out.
And we're back under caution right away. Well, for those of you watching, you'll know that the white car is in fact Holden Wheeler without any numbers to signal or identify. It does say Wheeler on the windshield, so I'm not sure if maybe that's an error on the driver's side or the broadcast side, but looks like we have everyone else's paints all set up just fine, so we'll just roll with it. I tried to fix it, but nothing I can do. So, we are under caution yet again here tonight. Let us dial up the replay. And so, caution number 2, we're having a hard time getting started here tonight. Flagman has the green flag waving there. And I think it's the 55 again, maybe? He's down on the bottom there. Oh, there they are, the 9. It's Keith Resmondo going for a spinner. Rockingham is proving to be difficult on the tires. The setups are giving these drivers a bit of a curveball here tonight as they're struggling to get the traction down to the racetrack. So, hopefully we can get settled, sorted out, and running again here. As we've currently made it to lap 7 under caution. We haven't really gotten past turn 2 here tonight. Your pole setter, Cameron Craighead, leading the way over Matt Parasini, Jesse Whittington, Holden Wheeler, and Sharn Hill. So, within the first 2 starts of the season, we've had a handful of drivers make both starts at Daytona and Michigan, and for the most part, they're here again tonight. Holden Wheeler has an average finish of 3rd. Samuel Green has an average finish of 3.5, and Matt Parasini has an average finish of 4.5. Corey Bunch is on average 7th place. David Hartney, 7.5, and Matt Bands with an 8.5. Obviously, averages are meant to be tweaked and modified with every finish as we go along. But those are just some of your top drivers that seem to have a good, good start to the season rolling so far. Couple drivers at the back of that list we may bring up later as we'll try to figure out where they're running in relation on the racetrack here tonight. Let's try to get some green flag laps in here tonight. Heading through turn 1, it looks like maybe they've figured out their troubles at the back of the field. Rockingham definitely hard on the traction, like racing on a cheese grater. This track's very old and abrasive, and it challenges these drivers to step up to the plate. And it's no easy feat to roll around Rockingham here. That's when you start to see the best wheelmen start to actually rise to the top. So Cameron Craighead leads over Jesse Whittington.
Caution, yellow flag.
We're back under caution again here on lap 11. 3rd caution of the night. Let us dial up the butt kicker replay here tonight for the 3rd time. And so it looks like oh man, Not much that Josh Hall could have done differently there. That car ahead of him hit the wall, and he had to avoid. That is... David Henley in the 16 machine hit the wall there, not to be confused with David Hartney, both of which are actually in the 16 machine 16 machine here tonight. I saw the 16, I was like, is that David Hartney? No, it's David Henley. So this third caution brought on by the 16 machine of David Henley hitting the wall there. And for Josh Hall, just not enough time to let up and avoid contact. Alrighty, well, it's been a rough start here for many parties involved. But the lights are going off on the pace car, and we're going to try to get it figured out here. Only 13 laps in of the 160 lap distance. As priorly mentioned, lap 50 will be stage break here tonight, so these drivers racing towards lap 50 for those bonus points on the line.
Green, green, green.
Alrighty, we're back and rolling again.
Caution, yellow
We're
flag.
back under caution yet again. Well, let us see what the next replay shows us for caution number 4 here tonight on the restart. And that looks like maybe that... Okay, it's the 67 of Shane Hines, unfortunately losing it on the restart there. Solo spin, back under caution. Drivers maybe deciding to make a pit stop here, we'll see. Alrighty, we are going to try to get back and going again.
Green flag, green flag.
And we're back and rolling here. Craighead with a good advantage, taking off with the lead. Heading into turn 1, that's going to put Matt Pericini up to second. Looks like we had some takers down pit road. Jesse Whittington back to 23rd. Travis Bennett back in 24th. Looks like maybe even credited with a lap down here tonight. So we'll see if they can bounce back. With all the cautions, they it looks like out of the race. So I don't know about that. It says Whittington out and Bennett out. Cameron Craighead up front, driving away with it at the moment. Craighead, his first 2 starts of the season, he came home 3rd at Daytona, where he set on the pole. And then Michigan, 28th. So unfortunately for him, it's been a rough second race that kind of bumped him backwards there. Average 15th place finish. And if we look at the standings, where Cameron Craighead sits in the points right now, currently 9th with 63 points. So even with a bad finish, he's still within the top 10. And here tonight, looking to possibly rebound and try to eliminate the woes from Michigan. Got into the wall just a hair there. Of course, breathing down his neck, that is the points leader, Matt Pericini. And due in part to him being the points leader, he's obviously one of the guys with the highest average in the field so far. 6th at Daytona and a 2nd at Michigan, but all the bonus points are really what has separated him from the likes of Holden Wheeler. Holden Wheeler, even with a 1st and a 3rd to start out the season, Matt Pericini has bested that by just a little bit more. So interesting for Pericini to get those bonus points and really, you know, kind of change the game up a little bit, whereas Holden Wheeler has basically a 9-point deficit because of bonus points. A better average finish, and as you see here, actually 10 points back. Those are all on bonus points. Or you can even look right there, just stage points alone. 24 stage points for Matt Pericini and only 9 points for Holden Wheeler. So that will become a topic of conversation, where these stage points actually mean a lot more, and they can kind of erase a bad day if you have a tough finish. And that's kind of what, you know, Pericini is able to fall back on, just a hair. Well, now that we kind of got settled into a healthy green flag run to start our
Caution, yellow flag.
4th break, now I jinxed it. All I had to do was open my mouth, and we're under caution for the 5th time tonight. We'll go ahead and dial up that butt kicker replay once again. It looks like Lauren Vincent may be part of this wreck. Oh, he gets into... That is the 15 of Christopher Bishop. Lauren Vincent just kind of clips him here after he kissed the wall, and Vincent goes for a spin. It doesn't look like anyone else was really involved in the matter. Oh, after the fact, though, there was some drivers that didn't have time to slow down, so we'll catch the tail end of that right here. Yep, along for the ride, the 77 there of Colin Hoffman loses it and then collects the 44 on the outside, unfortunately. For me, the toughest part is actually, okay, so the 00 of Hunter Hastings is the 44. That's why I couldn't find the 44 on there, and just so happens to be Hunter Hastings in the lineup driving what is labeled as the 00. So 5 cautions deep here tonight, and only 28 laps have been completed. Lights are out on the pace car. Craighead has been solid up front, leading all these laps. As we get set for the replay, I can confirm it looks like Travis Bennett and Jesse Whittington are retired from the race for tonight. No idea why, but they have pulled it into the garage and they're closed up for the evening here. And back and rolling under action here tonight at Rockingham on lap 30. 130 laps still left to go, but 20 laps left here in the stage. You know, for Holden Wheeler, as we've been looking at those stage points, this may actually be more of an incentive to try and race a little bit harder at the end of a stage here to rack up any bonus points that he can. He's got that carrot on a stick ahead of him, being the 24 in Matt Parasini, who continues to run up front towards stage end, week in and week out. And here he is looking to put up a fight for the lead here with Cameron Craighead. Could be some big points on the line here for the 24 if he gets up there and wins the stage. Good push here out of the 24, looking stout. Carrying that momentum on the low side as the one of Cameron Craighead continues to stay up high. They are splitting the difference, kind of swapping lines back and forth here. 24 now tries the outside and clips the wall just a little bit. Kind of like a Darlington stripe here at Rockingham. Look at that. Sharn Hill closing in on the front of the picture here. One of the tough parts for Sharn Hill. He seems to look stout and strong at the start of the races, but unfortunately the car setup or something gets away from him as the race continues on. So hopefully he can start kind of shifting gears on that, and results will follow, as he's got the ability to run up front. But with so many, you know, of these next gen cars, it comes down to how well you save your stuff. And what we might not be seeing right now are the drivers in the back saving their stuff. You know, you might be running very fast, very good here at the beginning, but that means you're eating up those tires, you're wearing down the car, and then once it gets down to crunch time, you fall short. So it's pretty cool to see Sharn Hill running up front again here. Another decent qualifying position for him. Qualified 5th here tonight. Cameron Craighead from pole position is led pretty much from the start. The green flag drop here tonight. But he's got his hands full with Matt Parasini on the attack here. One of the big movers in the field early on here. We've got David Hartney in the 16 machine up 11 spots into 12th. Top 2 are running exactly where they qualified at the moment. So no big changes there. And they're actually getting some green flag laps in to kind of get a shakedown how their cars are going to feel here tonight. Craighead starting to extend that lead over the 24. 24 was looking like he could close the gap, but it's getting away from him here a little bit. And Holden Wheeler very distant. You can't even see him in the photo shot right now. Drops way off the lead group here. Still running in 4th though, but a full 2 seconds out of the lead. Hunter Hastings fell a lap down there in the 44 machine. That leaves us with 19 cars on lead lap, heading towards the end of stage break here tonight. Here we go, the 24 catching back up to Craighead here. Parasini with a good charge. He's gonna see a little bit of open track on the inside, puts his nose down there into turn 1. One's holding the line. 24 is gonna give him a little bit of a bump there. Rubbin is racing. Nothing too aggressive. Great racing at the front of the field here. That might even help Sharn Hill close in ever closer to the front of the lead.
Caution, yellow flag.
Oh, and I think what happens when we get a caution is it goes back to the last scoring loop. So the number 1 is still going to be your race leader here right at the time of caution. Tough break. Man, Parasini was going to get a lap led there, which is also, you know, more shots at a bonus point. I do think they pay out bonus points for laps led as well. So we are under caution number 6 here tonight. Let us dial up the butt kicker replay to see what happened. So the 16 machine of David Hartney running the colors of Greg Biffle. Ah, man, not even his fault. That was the 15 of Christopher Bishop losing it in front of him. And David Hartney with nowhere to go just gets collected in the mix. If you see off the exit of the turn, the car just gets arrow loose. And he tries to correct it, ends up overcorrecting it. As you see, it starts turning all the way to the other side. And Hartney with nowhere to go gets collected up on the accident with Christopher Bishop. Also kind of getting in the mixer, that is the 20 machine of Cale Thorpe. And nice maneuver there by Lauren Vincent to slide through the mess. Well, I don't know if this will be a confirmed stage end here, but it's close. I do believe they'll probably go back green. Yep, they're going to try to do a quickie caution here, and we'll do a technically like a green-white checkered with an extra couple laps for the end of the stage here. And for big bonus points here on the night. Stage points up for grabs. Will Cameron Craighead maintain his advantage here, or could Matt Parasini steal the thunder here at the end of stage break? I would like to also highlight, got Matt Baines up here in the top 5 here tonight. His average finish is
Green, green, green.
top 5 with a 2nd and an 8th for the first 2 races. And here he is. He's working on 3rd place, getting around the outside of Sharon Hill there. He's got his sights set on the front of the field by the end of stage break. 72 machine looking fast here. He's searching the track, trying to find a line to get around for stage win. But he's got to get by the 24 before he can even think about getting the race lead here. Like Colin Hoffman got the lucky dog during that caution, so we've got 20 cars back on the lead lap. Out of the 24 cars that started here tonight, it looks like we've got about 3 cars retired before we've even gotten to the end of stage 1. Man, Matt Parasini trying to give it all he's got here, but it's going to almost come up short if he doesn't find a miraculous spot to make the pass. Craighead just doing the best he can at holding the advantage. 24 almost pushed into the corner on trying to make a Hail Mary move. One more lap here in the stage. Cameron Craighead has led all the laps here tonight so far through the first 50. Oh, and Matt Parasini was laying into it a little too heavy there. Gave it too much mustard and clipped the wall. Your stage winner
The yellow flag is out.
is going to be the one of Cameron Craighead, getting stage win here tonight and the bonus points that come along with it. So from pole position to stage win, Cameron Craighead, the start of season for him has been kind of a roller coaster. A 3rd at Daytona and a 28th at Michigan. Like I said earlier, he's trying to rebound and figure out how to fix his woes. Crazy as it is, our most average driver, and I don't actually see him in the field here tonight, Samuel Green, not in the lineup here, which is actually wholly surprising because he's up there in the points mix. He had a 5th and a 5th, an average finish of 5th to start the season for the first 2 races, and misses the show here tonight. So that's definitely kind of a surprise, honestly. The fact that we saw him start the first 2 races with a great start, 2 top 5s, 2 5th place finishes, the most average of averages we've got. And yeah, we'll see where that shakes him out in the points. Unfortunately, it's going to definitely drop him back with only 2 races in the book so far. Missing out on points here tonight. Corey Bunch up to 6th right now. His first 2 starts of the season were an 8th and a 9th. So looking to try and up that average. David Hartney, who is off the track, out of the race at the moment, he had an average of 10th with a pair of 10th place finishes actually at Daytona and Michigan. And that looks like it's going to be in jeopardy here tonight as the Biffle 16 machine is already off the racetrack. 18 cars on the lead lap getting ready for the restart here tonight. After yet another break in the racing action,
green flag.
it's time for stage end. Our stage break there. Here we go, single file at the front of the field. Your top 5 looks something like that. Cameron Craighead, Matt Parasini, Sharn Hill, Matt Bands, and Corey Bunch. Followed by Garrett Walden, Vince Brent, Devin Butchino, Ryan Gomes, and Dana Ryan. Looks like Lauren Vincent made a move up to 10th there. Might actually be notable to start watching some of these battles at the back of the field, as every point matters in the hunt to make it into the top 12. And as we saw in the point standings, Lauren Vincent 18th right now, but with a couple drivers missing from the field and some of the other drivers having a bad night, such as, David Hartney. Even though Travis Binnen on a part-time schedule, he's up in the points. And so Lauren Vincent might be able to gain some spots here with a good run, currently in the top 10. He's hunting down, it looks like, Dana Ryan and Devin Butchino. Here's a battle for 9th place right there. Not missing too much at the front. I'm keeping an eye on the Delta to make sure. Looks like Cameron Craighead has a slim margin over Matt Parasini, and there you have it. The 07 of Lauren Vincent moves up to 9th. So quite the battle in the mid-pack there. The higher mid-pack, I guess you could say. Matt Bands under attack. Rather,
The yellow flag is out.
Corey Bunch making a move there up to 4th. We're under caution for the 7th time here tonight. Let us dial in the butt kicker replay once more here tonight. Involved, it is the 88 of Austin Fassett. And that is the 20 on the inside of him of Cale Thorpe. Cale Thorpe goes below the apron here. Oh, man, and he's going to just clean out the 88 of Austin Fassett. Misses the turn or something. That was weird. For Austin Fassett, really nothing he did wrong there unless we go back and see something else that may have caused potential retaliation. It's tough to say, man. Oh, they both hit the wall there. And the 20, man, just doesn't even try to make the turn. Overdrives it, clips the 88. Might even go back another lap here. Huh. Yeah, that's weird, man. Unless something broke and he just tried to send it in there and hope that he you know, didn't make that mistake. Weird. Hit fast forward and see 88's reaction if there's any. He's taking his time getting up to pace here. I don't think there's any retaliation or reaction necessarily. Just thought I'd do a double check. On pit road, Austin Fassett, Christopher Bishop, Colin Hoffman. Cale Thorpe still out on the racetrack there. Here we go, getting doubled up for the restart with 97 laps to go. Notable tidbit here, as we're still nowhere near halfway through the race here tonight. One of the biggest movers so far early on, up 12 spots, is the number 9 of Keith Resmondo. Unfortunately, the biggest dropper that's still in the running, so dropping the drivers at the tail end of the field that retired. Unfortunately, falling the furthest back at the moment, Holden Wheeler minus 8 spots. And we're getting ready for the restart here. Back and rolling here on lap 64. 7 cautions for cause, 1 caution for stage break. 8 total cautions so far. It has been slow roll here tonight in Rockingham. Very fitting that we have hit the rock and stuck between a rock and a hard place for some of these drivers. Cameron Craighead, though, up front, he's been leading since the drop of the green flag to start this thing. And he's been holding off the advances here by the 24 of Matt Parasini, doing a good job at it. Meanwhile, we're trying to keep an eye on the rest of the field with their battles throughout the field. Some of the more exciting battles, they're actually mid-pack here. Garrett Walden on the attack, or actually on the defense, is Dana Ryan trying to make a pass for position there on Garrett Walden for 6th. Walden hits the wall. That's going to open the door for Ryan in that number 49 Nutrien Ag Solutions machine. The red, white, and blue. Hard to miss that 49 machine out there on the track. Very slick looking paint scheme. Kind of reminds me of a Wrangler-esque, kind of a Dale Senior, just with the red, white, and blue rather than the yellow and blue. Vince Brent right there on his back bumper now. He's going to try to make a move on Ryan. Ryan tries to block the advance.
The yellow flag is out.
The 92 has the advantageous inside line, but it's all for naught as we're under caution yet again. Our 9th overall caution here tonight. We'll dial up the replay to see what brings out this 9th caution here. You know, in middle of mayhem there, you got the 88 of Austin Fassett. Tail end of the field, 19th on the track, and he loses it on the backstretch, spinning out and bringing out this latest caution here. Well, it looks like they're actually going to credit Vince Brent with the pass on Dana Ryan. So where the caution fell, it actually credited Dana Ryan by losing a spot and Vince Brent by gaining a spot. We saw that earlier that Matt Persini got robbed of that opportunity based on when the caution fell. He did not have the lead, but he was going for the lead. So still has not led a lap here tonight. He's very close and flirting with it, but unfortunately Cameron Craighead putting on a clinic so far.
Green, green, green.
Alrighty, back and rolling here tonight. Lap 73. It's like a slow start for Matt Persini as the 5 of Sharn Hill right there alongside of him. For Persini, it's looking pretty good here tonight that points lead ain't going to go anywhere. We don't want to jinx it, obviously. All I got to do is open my mouth. Why am I talking about such final statements like that anyways at this point? That's how the commentator's jinx kicks in. You make bold assessments early on in the race that you probably should have held your tongue on, but that was just shooting at the hips there. I don't know what could go wrong here for Matt Persini. It's been a good night so far. And for the likes of Holden Wheeler, who's back in 9th, still not a bad points night per se, but it's going to hurt in the grand scheme of things since Matt Persini has really not let up off of the second place that he's been running all night long. We're closing in on halfway here tonight, lap 80. .84 laps left to go right now. Trying to keep an eye on any other battles throughout the field here. It looks like Corey Bunch, the closest, and you can see him in the background there fighting with Matt Bayens for position. We've seen them kind of duking it out here last couple restarts, swapping that position back and forth. Mad shout out to Vince Brent here tonight. First start here for season 12, and Brent having a good showing. Persini had help from some friends tonight, having a few other teammates from Cypress Academy in the show. Unfortunately, a tough break for Jesse Whittington and Travis Bennett. Well, Travis Bennett's not part of Cypress Academy, but still, they're all kind of working together. The big difference, of course, is well, one's Chevy and one's Ford, so everyone's just a big group of pals out there, though, nonetheless. Travis Bennett's teammate, in fact, is Corey Bunch here in the O2 machine. And they want to say, man, I can't remember the team name. Team name escapes me at the moment. It might be Revved Up Racing, if I'm not mistaken. Alrighty, we are under caution for, I think, the 10th time tonight here. Just past halfway, lap 82. We'll go ahead and dial up the butt kicker replay once more here tonight. Well, as soon as they say once more, we don't know if it is simply once more or one of few more. But tough break here for the 49 of Dana Ryan, who was there in the top 10. He got run into and spun out. I think that was the 68 of Butchino that was right there behind him. Might very well just be one of those racing situations. 68 has the momentum behind the 49, and man, it's tough to say if there's even any contact. I don't think Butchino made contact. I think Ryan just kind of lost it on the exit there. See if we can find a different camera angle that gives us a better perspective. This might be our best opportunity. So Ryan, yep, there's just a very, very slight bump and a nudge. And that causes the 49 to go for a spin, hits that inside wall, and unfortunately, full send into the outside wall as well. Found the one gate on the racetrack, and it didn't budge, but still, kind of a crazy spot to find on the racetrack there when you're spinning out. Well, we're past halfway. We're at about the 1 hour mark. The lights are off on the pace car, and we're going to get back rolling. Wow, look at that. Keith Resmondo up to the top 5 now. I think there must have been pit stops. There had to have been some pit stops. I don't know if the leaders pitted or not, but it's a big shakeup at the front. Sorry we missed that during the caution break there. Don't know how, but we now have Keith Resmondo up to 4th, more than likely on a strategy call. Leaders, I think, probably decided to stay out when a couple of the people behind him decided to pit. Because it's got Keith Resmondo up to 4th, Christopher Bishop up to 5th, Corey Bunch 6th. That looks like normal, though. Everything else past your top 5 for the most part. Good restart, getting in to the groove here. Some drivers looking to try and up their average finish rating. Specifically, got my eyes set on Sharn Hill, whose best finish this year was a 4th. His worst finish, and we can say that because there's only been 2 races. Worst finish was an 11th at Daytona, and he's got an average finish of 7.5. So with a 3rd here tonight, that would be helping his odds, his average, and moving up the points tally a little bit as well. Look back at the point standings and see where Sharn Hill sits. Currently, Sharn Hill's 7th in the points, so another good finish here tonight could help him move up. As you can see there, Samuel Green in 3rd. He missed the show here tonight, so he's going to be dropping like Tom Petty, free falling backwards here tonight. Travis Bennett, bad finish for him. His 12th in the points is going to drop out of the top 12. I don't see Ryan Hufford in the field tonight either, so that's another driver that's going to open up doors for drivers trying to move up through the points. Another one, Cameron Craighead 9th, leading this race right now. Everyone else pretty much in the field here tonight other than the likes of Samuel Green and Ryan Hufford, which definitely opens the door for drivers like Keith Resmondo, Cale Thorpe, or even Lauren Vincent to move up into the top 12. Meanwhile, let's keep an eye on some of those deep battles here. Corey Bunch looks like he's closing in on the 5 of Sharn Hill. That might be a move for 3rd. Sharn Hill on the high side, he's going to lose the spot. Corey Bunch moves up to 3rd. Holden Wheeler trying to battle here with Garrett Walden, and that would be for 8th place. Oh, and ahead you got Vince Brent getting up there trying to make a pass on Keith Resmondo for position. That puts him up to 5th. Dana Ryan, even though he went for a spin, he's back out there making moves, getting around the lap trap. No, that's for position. That's against Christopher Bishop for 12th place. Bishop now under attack by Devin Butchino. Keith Resmondo not going away. He's trying to hold on to 6th at the moment, and that's kind of created a bit of a bottleneck here as he's holding the line and he's defending, and the other drivers struggling to get around him here, making the battle brew behind him. And we got Garrett Walden starting to close in on the number 9 machine. He's going to drive it in here. Oh, and the 9 washes out. Resmondo goes way high, clips the wall, and he's going to have to settle in line here. Lauren Vincent making another move up to 8th now. There's all kinds of action all over the racetrack. It's hard to follow. But it looks like Resmondo unfortunately used up the good there on the restart. He's fallen back to 10th. And he's going to have to defend now on Matt Bands, who looks to be making the move as well. Just that slight bit of contact for Resmondo might have given him a little bit of a disadvantage. Whoa, Corey Bunch moves up to 2nd. We missed that one. Bunch has got it dialed in right here. With 63 laps to go, we don't want to miss any lead changes here tonight. We missed the position change for 2nd, and Corey Bunch is not letting up. He is tracking a little bit faster than your race leader Craighead here. Got a good run, that 02 machine. Harnessing the horsepower in the Mustang there. Craighead has led most laps here tonight. There's no doubt about that. He's got that locked up and in his pocket. But the win, not quite locked away, as he's having to defend now. A hard charging Corey Bunch for the lead here. Side by side onto the backstretch. The 0-2 is going to drag race, and he's going to take the lead with ease here. That opens the door for Matt Parasini. He slides into the one machine. I think got a little bit loose there. And then all of a sudden, Vince Brent up into the top 5. Running in 4th there. That green machine showing up out of nowhere. Sharn Hill falling backwards, as some of these drivers, I do think, with fresher tires perhaps, making advances through the field. Quite the different lookout up front here, as now you have Corey Bunch leading over Matt Parasini and Vince Brent. Still holding them without a lap lead here tonight, but they are running 2, 3, and 4. Quite the night here for Cypress Academy. Yeah, just short of Jesse Whittington, which, if things had gone a little bit smoother at the start of the race, Jesse Whittington might still be here fighting up front with his teammates. But look at that. Vince Brent moves up to 2nd. Corey Bunch building a big gap to the rest of the Cypress Academy teammates there. This is getting good. 57 laps left to go. Long green flag run, hopefully, here. As soon as I say that, we're back. Just a bit of a hiccup there. Didn't miss anything. Corey Bunch still up front with the lead. Cameron Craighead, wow, he is falling hard. From the lead all the way back to 8th, and he's trying to defend 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. They're eating him up. Those tires are kaput. So like I said, I do think your leaders decided to stay out. They were going to pit on their own terms. But the ultimate price being paid right now, if they get a late race caution, they'll come in for fresh tires and have the advantage towards the end here. And that's how big of a difference these tires make. You know, Cameron Craighead might be dropping backwards right now, but he's on an alternate strategy. And that alternate strategy is going to only unfold if he gets another caution before the end of this thing, that he can pull it down, get fresh tires, and then everyone else that was took their set of tires might be sweating bullets. But with the strategies like that, though, you never know if the other drivers might come back and pit again, relinquishing track positions. So definitely a risky gamble here, and I'm not sure about the payout on this one. It's not just Cameron Craighead that's fallen. Matt Parasini, who had the 2nd best car here tonight, he's fallen back to 4th. All in the meanwhile, Corey Bunch kind of checking out, but Vince Brent starting to close in on your race leader here. Going around the lap traffic there of Austin Fassett. Whoa, and the leaders have to navigate around him there. 50 laps to go. Holden Wheeler up to 5th. Corey Bunch with an average finish of 8.5, an 8th at Daytona and a 9th at Michigan. Figuring it out here tonight. He's on currently the strategy call, putting him in the mix for the win. But with 48 laps to go, there's still a lot that could happen. Matt Pericini decides to pit. Craighead pitting. So that is where they're making their last pit stop. The problem with that, making your pit stop under green like this, you're going to go a lap down. That's unavoidable. And chances are, even if this race stays green, you're still going to have to race your way around the entire field and hope that that advantage sticks. So we'll see. I kind of sniffed that one out. I was thinking they'd stayed out and they were on older tires, and you could see that they just they were sitting ducks since this last restart where everyone else decided to pit. Lauren Vincent pitted as well. So maybe the alternate strategy here could be an interesting one. We'll see. Your leader times, we'll keep an eye on that. They're already a full second off of their fastest laps. Ooh, there's some smoke on the backstretch. Hopefully we don't get a caution for your folks that pitted. They would not want to see a late race caution here and trap themselves one lap down late in this one. Oh, another one hits the wall. That looked like the 81 of Josh Hall, just ahead of your leaders, the last car on the lead lap. Hard hit in the outside wall for Josh Hall. He picks up the pace and he's back and rolling here. But he's got, unfortunately, something off with that car. He keeps clipping the wall. And that's going to put him in jeopardy of going a lap down here. Here comes your race leader, Corey Bunch, and Vince Brent followed in line. That's Cameron Craighead back on the fight for the lead lap. So he's tracking about 1 second a lap faster. That means if he can keep that advantage for 23 laps, he'll be going back around the leader to take the lead. Lauren Vincent, second in line on this strategy. The best part for Craighead, though, if we do get a caution, he's going to be back on the lead lap no matter what. So already a prime strategy call for the one team. We just got to see if it can pan out for him. This lap, we'll see lap times again, try to get a reference point here. He just turned a 23.69 to Corey Bunch's 24.42. So not a full second advantage, but in the midst of about 30 laps, Craighead should be starting to build that lead back in his favor. Currently 14th on this alternate strategy with 40 laps to go. We'll go back to following the leader. I'll try to keep you updated with Cameron Craighead's advance. Looks like he might have went 2 laps down, so that even makes it a little bit harder without your leaders actually needing a mandatory pit stop here today at the end of it. So I knew it was a risky call, risky business for the number 1 machine, and he's still trapped a lap down here. So but it looks like a lot of drivers having to make that last pit stop. So even though Cameron Craighead may very well just pick him up as they start dropping off. At the moment, Devin Butchino comes down pit road. Vince Brent comes down pit road. Josh Hall making his trip down pit road. We saw how ugly that car had gotten for him. He was already a lap down. Cameron Craighead up 2 spots. Your lead, Corey Bunch, Garrett Walden, Holden Wheeler, Matt Baines, and Sharn Hill. Keith Resmondo moves back up to 5th there. Sharn Hill falls to 6th. 9 cars on the lead lap through this transition of green flag pit stops. Cameron Craighead is now making his advance there, moving up to 11th, getting around Vince Brent. Colin Hoffman, the first car 1 lap down, in 10th place. As Christopher Bishop, the last car on the lead lap, running in 9th, just ahead of your leader here, Corey Bunch, in that red and black iRacing scheme. Cameron Craighead starting to catch up to Colin Hoffman to be the first car 1 lap down. Well, and not for long, because Christopher Bishop's going to fall a lap down here as well. With 33 laps to go, it's hard to say how long Corey Bunch is going to stretch it here. Clips the wall, but keeps on rolling. Vince Brent, through this cycle of pit stops, is right there behind Cameron Craighead. This could be a potential battle for the win between these two right there. One of Cameron Craighead needs all of the leaders to pit so that he can cycle back around to the lead. But look at that, Vince Brent driving around the number 1 machine under full pace here. Side by side, Vince Brent could very likely be first in position once these pit stops cycle through. Wow, I didn't think anyone was going to pass Cameron Craighead on level playing ground, but that just happened. We'll go back to our race leader. The lap times are almost a 1.5 second drop now. Your other group, though, not looking to be gaining as much. Vince Brent, 23.68. Cameron Craighead actually dropped to a 24.29. Almost as slow as Corey Bunch with these old tires here. So more takers down pit road. We've got your top 6 on the lead lap all alone. Ryan Gomes, the last one on the lead lap. Dana Ryan in 5th. Matt Baines in 4th. Holden Wheeler 3rd. Garrett Walden 2nd. And Corey Bunch still with the race lead here. Just trying to stretch it as long as he can. And there he is making his pit stop. He couldn't hold it too much longer. I have a good feeling about Vince Brent with his move around Cameron Craighead, as that could be a move for the race win here tonight that we just saw. Garrett Walden's going to stay out some extra laps here. He's pacing pretty slow right now in the 43. So now you got to start wondering if there's some drivers that think they can stretch the fuel. It looks like Garrett Walden coasting at the moment. Let's see if I can pull up the yeah, you hear it. He's off the throttle, saving fuel. This will give us an idea of where his throttle input is. Look at that. He's letting all the way off the throttle, about, I'd say about 30% throttle. Letting the engine slow down the car rather than the brakes. That's impressive, you know. You never know what could unfold here tonight. He's in super save mode, and we'll see if it can pan out. He's dropped almost a full 2 seconds nearly off of his fast lap time. slowing it down to nearly 25-second laps. That was a 24.6. Well, as things are cycling around, Corey Bunch comes back out ahead of Vince Brent. Not by much, but he's right there with what could be potentially the lead over Vince Brent once things cycle out here. Still have your top 4 yet to make any definitive pit stops here. 22 laps to go. Garrett Walden just out there on a snail's crawl, trying to save as much fuel as possible. And what's more bonkers about all this is the fact that we're staying green for the longest segment here tonight. And a caution would really throw a wrench in all these drivers' plans to try and stretch it. But for Garrett Walden, if a caution did come out, he would trap just about the entire field 1 lap down. Him and 4 other drivers are the only remaining lead lap drivers here at the moment. Corey Bunch gets by Christopher Bishop. That is huge because that puts him in the proverbial first place position if these 4 at the front can't hold on to it. And if we got a caution, Corey Bunch would get the wave around. Your lead 4 would then pit, and it would be, obviously Corey Bunch would be tasked with deciding to pit or not as well. Then you'd have a 5-car restart, barring any wave arounds that decide to get the lead lap back. Garrett Walden, his start of the season has been kind of mid so far, a 19th at Daytona and a 7th at Michigan. But with a very high potential to kind of steal the show here at the Rock. I don't think anyone really had fuel mileage as being a situation that was going to unfold here tonight. 17 laps to go. Resmondo gets 1 of his 2 laps back. He is currently running 13th, and I think that would put him back down to just 1 lap behind the leader. See, even for Garrett Walden, he's still got to protect.
Yellow flag is out.
Oh, we got another caution. Our 11th caution here tonight comes with 16 laps to go. You go ahead and throw everything out the window. I'm not sure where the caution came from. Trying to get a figure here. Oh, there it is. Oh, Cameron Craighead may have very well brought that caution out here. Ooh. Interesting. Dana Ryan, unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time twice here tonight and gets spun on the backstretch. I think he finds his gate in the wall there yet again. Man, just cannot catch a break here, can he? And slides, yeah, just maybe about 20 yards up the road from his gate that he found the first time. That car is hammered on the front. It's smoking on pit road too. So pit stops underway here. Wave rounds, I'm sure there's going to be plenty. Rejoining the racetrack with the lead after a pit stop, it's going to be Garrett Walden, Matt Baines, Ryan Gomes, Corey Bunch, Vince Brent. These are all your drivers staying out, it looks like. Vince Brent, Cameron Craighead, Holden Wheeler, Sharn Hill, Lauren Vincent, Devin Butchino, Keith Resmondo, and Christopher Bishop. As they will probably get the wave around here, if I'm not mistaken. Colin Hoffman, yep, waving around the pace car. And now they have a fighting chance to get back into this one. Lights are out on the pace car. We're getting doubled up for the restart. Garrett Walden, Matt Baines resetting the lineup here tonight with 13 laps to go. Cameron Craighead in fourth. You got some lap traffic there in the mix, though. They're going to kind of keep them separated here. Kind of an old school restart, if I do say so myself, with lap traffic in the top 10 there for the restart. They're pulling down apron.
Green flag, green flag.
We're back and rolling here tonight. This kind of reminds me of more like an NR 2003 restart. Not a whole lot of coherency there, as everyone was kind of lost and confused. But I think we'll get things sorted and figured out here. It looked like the 92 just money shifted there, unfortunately. The tough part was figuring out where everyone was to start on the restart here. Green flag waves and Vince Brent fortunately loses it. I almost feel like there should have been an extra lap there with all the wave rounds. They really weren't able to get caught back up to the tail end of the field. And with the lap traffic mixed in there as well, it was just a recipe for disaster. But 11 laps remaining, and the lights, I do believe, will probably go off this time around. Cameron Craighead pulls down pit road. Sharn Hill pulls down pit road. Yeah, you got a whole bunch of them. They are trying to get the advantage on fresh tires right now. Corey Bunch stays out, but the other half of the field, Cameron Craighead, Sharn Hill, Lauren Vincent, Devin Butchino, Keith Resmondo, and even Vince Brent all came back down pit road. Yet again, folks, I am sorry for Holden Wheeler's blank paint scheme here tonight. Nothing I could do to fix that. It definitely must be server side or trading paint side on his end, because I hit the Control R to reset paint schemes and it never came back around. There's 2 white cars out there, but we do have a number on the 77. That way we kind of differentiate between the 2 white Chevrolets. The blank one, of course, is the 09 of your Rookie of the Year candidate, Holden Wheeler, who's second in the points. At the moment, he is outperforming the 24 of Matt Parasini. Parasini has not been able to rebound since the round of pit stops, and I don't know if we missed something on him or what, but he's trapped a lap down Actually, it looks like he's out of the race. So big points night for Holden Wheeler now, as he could leave here tonight with the points lead. Obviously, it depends on how many bonus points Matt Parasini got here today. But Holden Wheeler's position, if he continues to hold the top 5, he could very well leave here with the new points lead. Or at least get it back, because he had it. I'm sure he had.
Green.
No, he didn't. It's been Parasini with all the bonus points keeping him ahead of the race winner, Holden Wheeler. Holden Wheeler getting up to 3rd there. Gomes, no, he's going for a spin. He's going to collect it. Oh, he's losing it on the backstretch. Man, commentator's jinx kicks in full swing yet again. I feel bad for Holden Wheeler. I was just hyping him up, and then gets knocked out of the top 5 there. Also involved in a separate spin there was the number 9 of Keith Rismondo. Let's see if he had any help in the situation or if it was just a solo spin. I think he saw the 09 spinning out, and he tried to avoid, and due in part to that, he lost it too. So when you see a head on the racetrack, sometimes it gives you a false negative, a false sense, and he probably could have kept going without spinning, but just ahead of him caught him off guard there. Well, shoot. 6 laps to go now. Garrett Walden, Matt Baines, Ryan Gomes, Corey Bunch, Craig Head in your top 5 there. Holden Wheeler falls off the racetrack, going a lap down now. He's on pit road, 1 lap down. He loses a lap in the transition of things here. Not good. Not good at all. At least he is outperforming Parasini, but with bonus points on Parasini's end, that's going to hurt Holden Wheeler in catching him for the points lead. If anything, let's look at that points standing again and see who else is sitting pretty here tonight. Corey Bunch, of course, but he's got quite the disadvantage here, as he's almost 30 points back. 27 points out of the lead, so that's a tall order to fulfill. I don't think, even if he gets up to 2nd, it's going to be a lot of points to make up to catch Matt Parasini. Still a good chance that we could walk out of here with Matt Parasini still the points leader, even with a bad night here at Rockingham. Well, 10 cars back on the lead lap. Christopher Bishop got the wave around. Devin Butchino in 9th. Keith Rismondo 8th. Lauren Vincent 7th. Sharon Hill 6th. Your top 5, as you can see pictured there. Cameron Craighead, your pole setter. Corey Bunch, Ryan Gomes, Matt Baines, and Garrett Walden. Walden looking to steal the show here tonight. Couple drivers that we have not yet been able to interview on the podium, looking for a solid podium finish. No! Baines gets turned.
Yellow flag.
The 02 of Bunch was rolling, and unfortunately the 72 was not. Oofty. Well, I've lost count. I think we're at nearly caution 15, maybe 16 here tonight. And let's figure out what else transpired behind your leaders here. We're going to go ahead in slow motion and jump from car to car. That was the 02 of Corey Bunch with momentum. Catches up to the 72 here. Oh, no, it wasn't on. He lost it on his own. I misquoted that. Corey Bunch did nothing Nothing wrong there. Unfortunately, the 72 of Matt Bands loses it. And with him spinning out there, Josh Hall comes into the mix, unfortunately, makes contact. Josh Hall spins. Austin Fassett, who's already lapsed down here tonight, also collected in it. And the 15 of Christopher Bishop just trying to narrowly avoid getting hit there. Quite the save from the 15 machine as he slid up high and avoided making contact with the 88 there. Well, it's going to get into overtime territory here tonight as we're already approaching regulation where it would have ended at lap 160. But here we go. Little bit of SCSRA Cup Series overtime here tonight. Yeah, it looks like Holden Wheeler back on pit road again. Josh Hall just now coming off pit road. He's the first car, 1 lap down. We've got 11 cars on the lead lap. Matt Bands in 11th after getting spinning himself there on the restart. Vince Brent in 10th. Christopher Bishop in 9th. Keith Resmondo in 8th. Devin Butchino, Lauren Vincent, Sharn Hill, Ryan Gomes, Cameron Craighead, Corey Bunch, and Garrett Walden. Alrighty. Well, we'll see if this is our last restart tonight. It's hard to say. It's ending just the same way that it started earlier tonight, with no consistent pattern getting into the rhythm. Garrett Walden gets out to a steady lead there. Up to second, it's Corey Bunch. Really no disadvantage or advantages unfolding here. Lauren Vincent making some bold moves up into the top 5. Ryan Gomes out ahead of him there. That's your top 4. Gomes trying to get a podium. Craighead wants to get up there and fight for as many spots as he can get at the end here. Corey Bunch trying to run down the 43, but it's going to be Garrett Walden sitting pretty here heading into turn 3. Short of something terrible happening on exit of turn 4, the 43 steals the show here tonight. Garrett Walden with strategy. At one point it looked like he was going to stretch it on fuel mileage here tonight, and he comes out on top. Man, we'll have to talk to him about that one. There's definitely a lot that played out here today at the Rock. And great night for Corey Bunch and Cameron Craighead as well, who came home. Woo! Lap car gets into a little bit excited there. And here we are with our podium 2, at least. Corey Bunch and Garrett Walden. Cameron Craighead's coming to join the celebration at the podium there. Well, how about that, folks? It was a night full of craziness, carnage, and just all over the board. Garrett Walden steals the show. Didn't lead the most laps, but definitely found himself in a position to secure the win here tonight and gives Cypress Academy their first win of this season. Notable top 5 finish. You got to give a shout out to Lauren Vincent for bringing it home 5th. That is going to do him miracles in the points conversation, where he rolled in tonight 18th. Ryan Gomes as well with a great finish there in 4th. But Cameron Craighead, Corey Bunch, and Garrett Walden with the most points here tonight. Well, we'll go ahead and show the finishing order here. Of course, your race winner, Garrett Walden, coming home 2nd. Corey Bunch, Cameron Craighead, Ryan Gomes, and Lauren Vincent. Just outside the top 5, you had Sharn Hill with a 6th, Christopher Bishop with a 7th, Keith Resmondo in 8th, Matt Bands in 9th, Devin Butchino 10th, Vince Brent 11th, Josh Hall 12th, and then Colin Hoffman 13th, Holden Wheeler 14th, Cale Thorpe, Dana Ryan, Hunter Hastings, Austin Fassett. Your points leader, Matt Parasini, brings it home 19th. 20th was Shane Hines. The Davids bring up 21st and 22nd with David Hartney and David Henley. Jesse Whittington, we didn't get to see what he had here tonight, unfortunately, bringing it home 23rd. And Travis Bennett with last on the grid there. So we're going to go ahead and interview our podium finishers here tonight. Let us go ahead and dial up the driver that brought it home in 3rd from pole position and managing to salvage as much at the end there with all the weird strategies that panned out. Cameron Craighead.
Oh.
Jacob in the booth. Do you copy, Cameron?
Yeah, I got a copy, Jacob.
Heck yeah, dude. That was quite the wild race. I saw some strategies unfold here tonight that definitely gave you a bit of a run for your money. You led most laps, and from pole position, it was a stout race for you, but unfortunately had to settle for 3rd. What all went through this race here tonight to get you there?
Chaos. And I guess tire saving, which I failed. That's about it. Everything else was just driving.
Yeah, no, there was definitely chaos aplenty here tonight. Caution after caution. It was nice to get that long green flag run. Were you happy when you had that long green flag run and just kind of settle in into your reps and, you know, put down the laps?
I would have been if I wasn't on the wrong side of it, because I stayed out right before it, so I ended up getting put on the have to pit side, and I was racing behind, and I think I fell too far back on old tires to actually use pitting early to my advantage. And then unfortunately I got into Dana Ryan there, because when coming onto the flat part of the track with these cars, you don't want to turn too much or it will snap back, because there's no suspension, it's just independent. So I didn't want to just swerve around him, but I didn't want to hit the brakes because I was trying to gain time, and unfortunately I just kind of drove into the back of him. I feel bad, but it kind of actually helped me, so that worked out. And just had to rough my way up to the front there at the end, but it was fun. It was cool. The green flag runs were nice, but I don't know, this car track combo is just, it's an animal.
Well, apart from Michigan with your 28th last week, you now have a pair of 3rd place finishes. This should set you up pretty well in the points going forward. How do you feel with the rest of the schedule here on the season?
Yeah, I like it. A lot of short tracks, like Wilkesboro and Dover and the Roval, which I've historically, I feel like I've done well there whenever I go there in officials. And mile and a halfs are just gonna be them. That's just, I don't know. I'm kind of okay there. And then you got Talladega. I'm really good at super speedways, so we'll see. I feel like as long as I just keep getting stage points, I'll be okay. My main goal now is just to get my teammate Hunter Hastings into the playoff bubble. He started a little late and he hasn't had the greatest start, so we'll see if I can help him out.
Cool. Well, any other friends, family, sponsors you want to thank here tonight?
I want to thank Jack Shack Racing, Trevor Asmanoff, and all of them. And I want to thank you for broadcasting. Probably was a long night as well for Race Control. They're also going to have a long couple of days, and the admins and all the racers who came out tonight, and Hunter, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, congratulations on yet another podium finish, and keep up the good work. Hopefully we hear from you more in the coming weeks. So.
Alrighty, I appreciate it.
And that was third place finisher here tonight, Cameron Craighead. We're going to go ahead and dial up second place here tonight. Coming through all the chaos and carnage, number 02 machine, Corey Bunch. Jacob in the booth. Do you copy, Corey?
Yes, sir. Got a copy.
Well, how about it? You kind of showed up at the end there. There was a lot of strategies unfolding here tonight. What would it have taken for you to have a little bit extra there at the end of this one?
Well, I don't know, but we needed a caution. That last caution, well, like I said, that caution that ended the whole the tire run and stuff. We needed that to happen earlier than later on. That way, we could have tried to make everybody a lap down to be able to have a shot right then. Because, I mean, it looked like it was kind of smart at the time to take tires when nobody else did. Nobody else didn't, and then go to the front. But I just didn't have enough fuel, so it just kind of just salvaging the best we could, and we work our way up to second, and then get to second. But I seen Garrett kind of get a little messed up there, a few times there, and I was kind of closing in, but it just wasn't enough time. It's just one of those deals. But I'm happy with finishing second with everything I went through all this race, from getting caught up in that first lap restart wreck and all that. So I'll take it.
Oh yeah, heck yeah, definitely an improvement from your ninth and eighth the last 2 weeks to come up here and finish on the podium here second tonight. How do you feel with the rest of the schedule coming up? How do those tracks line up with your skill set?
It don't. I just take it one race at a time, really, because I used to be in my prime with these next gen cup cars, and now ever since they changed them, I'm still kind of trying to get re-familiarized with them, with the tires and all that stuff. So it's kind of just taking a learning curve of how to get back to falling in love with these cars again. But we'll just take it one at a time, and we'll try to show people like Travis Bennett that I'm not washed. I still got it.
Yeah, it's crazy how these cars are so much of a moving target. I feel like that's kind of the consensus. Is it's always a learning curve with these cars. It seems like with the changes and everything that goes into them. Rockingham, I think the setup kind of threw folks for a bit of a curveball here tonight. A lot of self spinners, solo spinners. Just kind of a tough setup, was it, or what do you think?
Well, I felt like the setup was better, but like and I want to give a shout out to the admins because they've actually made a change to the setup because the iRacing setup, you was hitting the chip before you cross the start finish line, so they had to modify the gear change on that. And I don't know if there was anything else they did as well, but this was really the first time we raced on the repave in this car. I think last year or the year before, something like that, we were racing the old configuration. So that was kind of a learning curve of what it was going to do. But it just seemed like it's a bottom feeder once you got the swing of things and when people actually got restarts figured out for the most part. So we, just kind of just took it what he could, max your brake markers, and then go from there. So it was just yeah, it was just a huge learning curve for sure. But we I'm not gonna say we managed it all right as a whole because we probably had like I don't know 13 cautions or something like that, which is kind of just unacceptable in the Cup Series. But I mean, I guess when you have this track car combo, you just gotta do it the best with what you got.
Right. No, sometimes new track and just don't know what to expect. So I don't really have anything against it. It's bound to happen once in a while. So, any other
Yeah.
friends, family, sponsors you want to thank here tonight?
Well, I was got to shout out to Full Throttle Motorsports and then also with my boss, or Travis Bennett. He ended up giving me a shout out from the ARCA race where he ended up finishing in the podium and uh, take some jabs at me, and I was going to go ahead and give it back to him as well because he decided to park it early on, and I stuck through it and then got me a second. So, Travis, I hope you are watching this and realizing that I'm not washed. I still got it, baby. I got to thank congrats to Garrett on the win. Nice job for him. He always just comes in at the best time when it comes to stuff like that. Because I mean, I thought when that race was, it was me and Vince that was going to just run away with it. If we had that timely caution, and then here comes Garrett, which I figured Garrett would have probably won it on fuel mileage anyway. But either way, congrats to him on the win. Nice job by him. I just got to thank the admins as well. Nice job for them putting on this kind of a crapshoot, really, because it was just everybody didn't know, like you mentioned, everyone didn't know what to expect. But like I said, we done the best we could. So I appreciate them put it out there, adjusting the setup to where it was raceable. And then I appreciate you for broadcasting the Cup Series as well. And like I said, it's always good to look back at these and then go from there on that. But yeah, just thankful for this '02 Goodyear Ford Mustang, and we'll see what happens the next race we go to, wherever that may be.
Well, heck yeah, my dude. I can see now in your subtitle on your picture handle there, Travis Bennett is scared of beavers. So now that's
Yeah.
factual news for me.
Yeah, which is ironically enough because he does have the Bucky's car he usually runs. So I just think it's kind of ironic that he's scared of beavers too. But yeah, that's the more you know.
Well, thanks again for the color commentary there. Much appreciated, my dude. And congratulations on the second here tonight. Hopefully we get to hear from you more going forward this year.
I hope so as well. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, have a good one.
You do the same.
And now we will go ahead and interview our race winner here tonight, the 43 of Garrett Walden. Jacob in the booth. Do you copy, Garrett?
Yes, sir. Got a copy.
Heck yeah, my man. Good run here tonight. That 43 machine was kind of on an alternate strategy towards the second half, and you made it work. I was noticing you're like letting off the throttle, letting the car slow itself down, kind of on a saving pattern to try and stretch it as long as you could. With the cautions falling like they did you think you still had it when those cautions fell at the end of the race?
Yeah, I think that. I mean, I wish that it stayed green because I think a lot of people were either couldn't make it or were just shy. I had saved enough. I was only about I was a half a lap to the good. And once I saw that, I kind of didn't necessarily, I couldn't put my foot down because we had worn tires, but I was pulling away from second place. And I felt like even with the cautions of like, if I get good launches on the starts and I should be fine, and it kind of fell where it may. I feel like if it was like 2 or 3 more laps, Corey Bunch probably would have got me, but it wasn't. So that's all that mattered.
Yeah, even with all the craziness here tonight, you survived all the carnage and cautions here. Was it hard when you were starting the race a little bit further back? You qualified 15th here tonight, working in the traffic. How did that go?
It was a lot about patience. I qualified 15th because I messed up my second lap, and so I was like, all right, I'm in the weeds, so to speak, and I was like, I'll just be patient here and kind of let people make mistakes around me, and as long as I don't make mistakes, I should be fine. And that's kind of what happened. People made mistakes or was doing weird strategies, so I kind of took advantage and was able to save my tires. I could wrap the bottom really well, and I was able to move forward. And then in the big run, I was able to kind of hang out in third, coast, clutch in, let the car kind of coast in, and save my tires that way. So it was a lot of just being patient and not overdriving the car and just running my race as opposed to those around me.
Yeah, no, and it was a very patient, work through the field, very methodical, and kind of luck fell upon you there a couple times here tonight. With Kansas up next, how do you feel for Kansas?
I'm pretty confident for Kansas. I'm pretty good at that track. I feel like it'd be a solid top 5, top 10 there. Probably competing for a win. I'm pretty good on long runs, but long runs can be hit or miss. So we'll just have to wait and see how the chips fall when we get there.
Well, and you got the win here tonight. Cypress Academy, I'm sure, is proud. First win for them this season. And so any other friends, family, sponsors you want to thank here tonight?
Big shout out to the league and the admins for doing all the behind the scenes work and, kind of revamping and making things the way they are this season. They've really done a lot of work in this past off season. Shout out to you for the broadcaster, put on the broadcast like you do every week. Shout out to my mom who always watches my races, and Cypress Academy, everybody that was involved tonight. And then, Corey Bunch, Travis Bennett, those guys, been racing with them a long time. Love racing with them, love hanging out with them, and all around just been a great night and a lot of fun.
Heck yeah, it was a old school Rockingham race here tonight. A lot of cautions, but even through that we had some nice green flag runs, and it was a fun one to watch. So congratulations on the win here tonight, and hope to hear from you again next week.
All right, thank you, sir.
Alrighty, folks, that is a wrap here tonight from Rockingham, race number 3 in the books. Average finishes are going to get shaken up a little bit here tonight because our 3 highest average finishers unfortunately did not fare very well here tonight. Your 5th place driver, I can't remember now, my brain's shooting a blank, but our drivers that were up there in the top 5 average positions, they're going to drop outside of that here after having some tough goes at it here tonight. So thanks again, folks, for tuning in. I know this one was a little bit more long-winded with all the caution breaks kind of slowing the pace down, but it was still a great race through and through. Garrett Walden for Cypress Academy seals the deal here tonight, getting them their first win of the season 12 campaign. On to next week, we'll be hitting Kansas, another 1.5 mile track, which actually the first 1.5 mile track we're hitting this year because it's been kind of everything but a 1.5 mile track to start the season. And we'll see how that race shakes out next week. We're keeping the fields pretty large, 20 plus each week so far. Keeps the racing interesting, keeps it exciting. So we'll see how many folks show up next week for a great race at Kansas. Hopefully all have a great night. Stay safe out there. And thanks for tuning in for Intensity Broadcasting on behalf of myself, Jacob Shangle. Have a great night, folks. Stay safe. Thanks again. We'll see you on the next stream.